And on matters regarding COVID-19, the government has launched an inspection tour of schools around the country to establish their readiness ahead of possible reopening in September. The assessment team will particularly narrow down its review on availability of running water for hand washing and whether there is adequate space in classrooms for effective social distancing. It is expected that the process will guide the level of investment that the government will need to undertake prior to reopening.
Speaking in Isiolo while inspecting facilities at Oldonyiro Primary and Oldonyiro Secondary Schools, the Chief Administrative Secretary for Education, Momina Bunaya, said that the ministry will conduct the inspection tours in all schools across the country, a move, she says, will aid the government's decision-making regarding the schools reopening as instructed by the President. Momina noting that for schools to be reopened, the institutions must have adhered to COVID-19 guidelines.
This exercise will continue countrywide. Our officers are already forwarding assessment of each and every school in terms of preparedness. And that will guide the level of investment that we'll need to undertake.
This is not something that I can take for.
In the meantime, KCPE candidates in Kiambu have benefited with revision books from the National Government Constituency Development Fund that would enhance their preparation for the national examinations. Speaking during the handing over of the books, Kiambu Town Legislator Jude Njomo said the books will be distributed to all candidates in every school so as to be able to continue learning during amid the pandemic.
Since we may not be able to have access to online learning, like maybe it is being done in some private schools and some privileged pupils, we have come up with revision books, which is made up of past KCPE past papers with questions and answers and some assistance that the students can get from the books.
In Busia, more than 80 school-going children were nabbed in one of the estates, making merry while indulging in drinking in total disregard of restrictions to curb COVID-19. Matayo's Sub-County Deputy County Commissioner Joseph Onyango said that the group aged between 10 and 20 were confined in a home whose owner was locked in Uganda as a result of COVID-19.
The officers came across a crowd of young people who are dancing and making merry. Some of them managed to escape upon seeing the officers. However, 82 of them were arrested.
Elsewhere, a group of about 200 women fishmongers has benefited from 3 boats bought from the Sokoni Ward Development Fund Kitty to cushion them from the adverse economic effects of COVID-19. Pweza Women Group Chairperson Rukia Pambajuma noted that although most of hotels which consume their products have been closed, they are still able to make good returns by selling their fish in the open-air market and restaurants.
In a county, tumefurahi sana kwa miradi ila leo tutendea kama mama. Sahi hata tuona kwa ofisi yake kwenda kuomba basari, hata tuona kwa ofisi yake kwenda kuomba unga, hata tuona kwa ofisi yake kwenda kufuata chochote kwake.
In Nakuru County, Area Governor Lee Kinyanjui said some medical facilities have been set aside as centers for treatment of the COVID-19 disease in case the numbers of positive cases continued to rise. He said that the government had released funds towards expanding the facilities towards this endeavor. In the nearby Laikipia County, the county government has embarked on local mass production of hospital beds in a bid to precipitate its preparedness efforts in combating COVID-19. The county is utilizing local vocational and training centers to surpass the 300-bed capacity requirement issued by President Uhuru Kenyatta as one of the measures to fight the pandemic.
The bed capacity is what I'm telling you, 200. I mean, the hospital is already rigged out for 200 beds, of which these are 70 beds. there, and they are already, I think 70 or 60 already there. So we are progressing quite well.
In Kitui County, the administration is also working around the clock to meet this threshold in residents for patients' admission, even as talk heightens of possible lifting of cessation of movement restriction. The county has 74 bed capacity spread across its 4 isolation centers, which is a far cry from the proposed 300 beds. Area Governor Charity Ngilu said that resources were available for procuring the beds, while noting that prototype beds have been availed to Jua Kali artisans and will be ready soon.
We only have a bed capacity of 74, we as a county, but we have resources to increase the bed capacity to 300. And what we are doing as a county is to make sure that these beds are going to be made here by our own local Jua Kali artisans.
Beatrice Getonyeng-Etich, Channel 1 News.